So there's a group called Sandy Hook Promise, and they released an ad for the back-to-school season, and it's definitely a shock to the system.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These helpful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I needed for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool. These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
And I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
That actually happens, which is why it's so creepy. I think oftentimes there's a failure of imagination for people to really grasp what goes on with these school shootings, but it's real as a heart attack, dude. That happens. When you see it like that, I think it definitely impacts people pretty strongly because it makes it so much more real for them. And, you know, I don't have kids, but I can imagine my reaction would be even stronger if I did. Because you have kids and you know the numbers, you know how often this happens in the U.S., you know that this is a common occurrence, you know it's basically a monthly thing, and you have kids, and you look at your kids in the face, and you think that because we can't move on this very basic issue, their lives are in danger. Oh, it is absolutely infuriating, and we both know the main reason why nothing gets done on this issue is corruption. Because over 90% of Americans want a universal background check. Every single, standard gun policy reform polls well over 50%. Ban on high-capacity magazines, assault weapons ban, some sort of licensing system, mental health checks, all this stuff polls well over 50%. But we don't get it. Why? Because the entire Republican Party in Washington, D.C. is bought by the NRA and the gun manufacturers. And they really do block any and all reform. But even when it comes to the Democrats, even though they don't take NRA money, and so they're not corrupt on this issue, they're also just politically ineffectual and weak, and they don't know how to get their agenda through, even when their agenda is massively popular. So it's the perfect storm of, Democratic incompetence and, Republican corruption that leads to a situation where it's permanent gridlock on an issue where Americans are not divided. Guys, even a majority of Republicans want universal background checks. Even a majority of NRA members want universal background checks. This is not a controversial issue. It's the leadership of the NRA, bought by the gun manufacturers, who then by the politicians, who are really controlling policy on this issue in this country. And it is 100% infuriating. And, that, I'm sure the reaction to this is going to be mixed because you're going to have everybody who's hardcore on the side of guns is going to look at this and hate it. And you're going to have some people, even who might agree with the message, say, oh, it's tasteless, so why did you run this? But, I mean, again, the reason why I think this is definitely a defensible ad is because it just gives you a little bit of insight into the fact that this stuff actually happens, and maybe when you see it, it shakes you out of complacency. Because it does, man. Shootings like this happen all the time. And it's a slap in the face when you show, some fun music, some back-to-school stuff, look at us, and then you start hearing the shots and seeing the injured people. So I think the whole point was to shake people out of their complacency. And it largely worked. This made headlines in quite a bit of places, so certainly an issue we should move on. But it's sad to say I'm not holding my breath.